Hey, Noah? Mom just told me that you moved into our house, but is that true?
Yeah, that's true. Why? You don't want me in your house?
No, it's not like that. I was just surprised because it was so sudden. What's the matter?
There's nothing wrong with me moving in, is there? I'm your brother, Lena. I want you to help me move my stuff into the house, but you were out on a business trip. I would have liked a more helpful sister.
Well, it's your fault for not telling me earlier.
It's my own house. I should be able to come back to my home anytime.
I'm not blaming you or anything, don't get me wrong.
What's your problem then?
Jennifer, your wife also moved in with you, right?
Of course. Why wouldn't she?
We're gonna be living together, Noah. Didn't she say anything about it?
No, not at all. She was happy that she no longer has to pay rent.
I hope you guys are at least gonna pay for your own living expenses.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about your food expenses and electricity bills.
Huh? We're a family, but you're asking us to pay for ourselves? I never paid them when I lived with mom and dad before I moved out.
You were a student back then. I pay for my own living expenses too now that I graduated and started working.
It's just the two of us. There wouldn't be much different.
No, this is a big problem. First of all, I don't think you paid back the $50,000 which you borrowed from mom and dad.
I'll pay them back someday.
You say that all the time. You spend all your money on gambling and you never learn from your mistakes. I know you visit us from time to time so that you can borrow money from mom and dad. Whenever you use up all your money, you come back home and steal our savings from the cupboards. You're as awful as a criminal robbing our family.
You call your own brother a robber?
Am I wrong, Noah? You're doing the exact same thing as a robber. You have a wife, can't you be more responsible?
Shut your little mouth. How about you worry about yourself, not me?
Why should I be worried about myself?
You're over 30 without a husband or a boyfriend, and you live with your parents. Are you aware of your own situation? Try comparing yourself with others your age.
So what? Am I causing any trouble to anyone?
Mom's definitely worried about you. We're worried about you ending up alone when they get older.
You're worrying Mom more than me. She's always worried that you might steal their money whenever they leave the house.
I'll never steal again. If I move into your house, I won't have to pay for the rent.
Noah, I've been telling you that accepting you into our house doesn't mean we'll support all your living expenses too.
Lena, why are you so annoying? Oh, I get it now. You're worried that I'll take over the house. Come on, just admit your fears.
Huh?
I'm the son, the first child of mom and dad, right? So it's natural for me to inherit this house after their death, which means in my house.
You've been thinking like that all this time?
That's the truth, Lena. Just admit it.
Okay, now I understand how you really feel about the house. You have no idea.
You're the ignorant one. Don't you ever think you're better than me just because you've always been living with mom and dad. I'll kick you out of the house very soon. You should be embarrassed for living with your parents at your age.
I don't get why you aren't embarrassed of yourself moving back in with selfish reasons at your age.
I've experienced so many hardships living alone, Lena. You haven't left the house even once. You're an embarrassment, you know that?
Let's end it here. I'm gonna tell you one last time that you have to pay for your own living expenses if you're moving into our house. Don't depend on mom and dad with everything.
Hey, Lena, your room is the biggest, right?
Yeah, so what?
Your room used to be mine. Now that your brother is home, don't you think you should give me back my room?
You can't just move in and demand me to give back your room.
Jennifer and I share the smallest room in the house. Why do you get to live in the largest room alone? It doesn't make any sense.
You both only use the room to sleep. But I have work to do at home, so I prefer staying in a larger room.
We also want a large room, Lena. Can we exchange rooms? We get your room and you get ours?
Huh?
You understand that we don't have enough rooms, right?
We have enough rooms. Mom and Dad's room, you and Jennifer's room, and my room. I think it's enough.
What are we gonna do if our baby is born? Jennifer and I can share the room with the baby when the baby's young, but we'll need another room when the baby gets older.
You're really planning to take over our house.
Of course. It's my house.
To be exact, it's not your house.
For now it's not, but in the near future, it will. You should start getting ready to leave the house.
Why are you telling me that?
Jennifer's worried if you're gonna continue living with us. She feels uncomfortable around you, You should be aware that you're not welcome in this house. I guess you're still single because you're ignorant and lack consideration. What an evil sister I have.
If you don't want to live with me, why did you move into our house in the first place? You knew that I was living with Mom and Dad, right?
We assume that you'll leave once we move in. Aren't you uncomfortable as well?
You assumed that I would leave? How ignorant and inconsiderate. I heard that Jennifer doesn't do anything, while Mom does all the housework.
Mom's better at housework than Jennifer, so I don't see any problem.
It's definitely a problem. If you guys are not going to pay for your living expenses, at least do some housework. I'm talking about you too, Noah. Both you and Jennifer should help with housework.
Ugh, Lena, stop being so annoying. How about you? Are you helping Mom with the housework?
I make breakfast for them every morning. I also pay for my living expenses, unlike you.
I bet being single gives you extra time and money. How sad to be single.
Noah, don't you ever think that you can always depend on Mom and Dad?
Don't you ever think you can always live in this house, Lena. I'm not asking you to find a husband. It's not so hard to find a new house, is it? Just leave the house as soon as possible. But I'm warning you beforehand, okay? This is a warning, Lena. I'm not going to accept any complaints from you, alright?
Noah, did you enter my room without telling me? Stop it right now. Get out of my room.
Hey, did Mom tell you about it?
Stop doing whatever you want in our house. You're causing so much trouble.
Then just leave the house. That would solve everything.
How many times do I have to tell you that I won't leave?
Why don't you understand, Lena? You seem like you don't understand your position in this house, so I decided to take action.
Take what action?
I moved your stuff to the garage so you don't have a room anymore. Mom's too nice to tell you this, but you're the one causing them trouble, being single and not leaving the house. Stop depending on Mom and Dad. Just leave already.
Noah, let me tell you, we don't own the house. I think you're misunderstanding.
It's not our house? What do you mean?
We had to sell it to pay back your debts. Dad no longer owns the house. There's nothing you can inherit now, Noah.
You sold the house? Then why are we still living here? Stop making up stories just because you don't want me to inherit the house.
We pay the rent to live here.
Are you serious? What are we gonna do? Who's gonna pay when Dad gets older and is unable to pay?
Oh, about that. There's nothing to worry about. We're gonna pull down our house soon. The temporary house until it gets pulled down. There wouldn't be any rent to pay when we no longer have a house.
Pull the house down? Why didn't you tell me earlier about such an important thing?
It's your fault for moving in so suddenly with selfish reasons.
Where's Mom and Dad gonna live after the house is pulled down? They're gonna be moving somewhere else, right?
Yeah, they'll move with me into my new house.
I guess we'll join you guys then.
Huh? Why?
We currently live with Mom and Dad, so it's natural for us to move into their new house.
Did you see what I just texted you? Mom and Dad are moving into my house. It's not Mom and Dad's house. Why would I have to let you and Jennifer live in my house?
That's ridiculous. What are we supposed to do then?
What would I know? You better start looking for a new house to live in. The house is going to be pulled down next month.
We don't have enough time.
We didn't have any time to prepare when you guys moved in so suddenly. When you took away my room, you told me to find a new place to live. I guess it's your turn now. It's not so hard to find a new house. You kicked me out of my room. Why would I accept you to live in my new house? I warned you, Noah. I think you should find a new house to live in with Jennifer.
Lena, why did you leave us?
I said I won't let you both live in my house. There's not enough space for you and Jennifer.
Even so, how can you just move out leaving us homeless? I thought we were a family.
Says you, who never paid back $50,000 to his parents and stole money from the house. Plus, you suddenly moved back into our house because of your selfish reasons, believing that you would soon inherit the house. I'll never forget how you moved all my stuff to the garage and kicked me out of the room.
I thought we owned the house.
That doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. Do you understand how much trouble you caused for our family? What makes you think that you can inherit the house?
I'm the only son in the family, and I thought I would be in charge of looking after our parents when they get older.
I'll take care of them, just like I've been doing till now. You've done nothing for them. What can you do now? They're not looking for a caregiver. They just want their money back more than anything.
Mom and Dad are not replying to my texts and phone calls.
They decided not to take any more contact with you now that they left the old house. Oh, but be sure to pay back the $50,000, okay? We have the IOU.
Hey, Lena, we really need help.
I bet.
We don't have enough money to move into somewhere new. Jennifer fell sick from the shock of you leaving us.
Not my business. It's your fault for depending on us too much. I heard you quit your job when you moved in. Mom had been telling you to find a new job, and you were the one who ignored her.
I couldn't find a good job.
Are you in the position to choose jobs? Just get any job. There's still several weeks until the house is pulled down. You can start by getting a part-time job.
A part-time job won't be enough.
You never know until you actually try. You also didn't bring much stuff when you moved in. So I think you can save some moving expenses.
Moving requires money. There's rental fees and much more to worry about.
If you're worried about money, you can always start by renting a short-stay apartment.
Lena, look, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that I tried kicking you out. And I'm sorry for everything that we did.
You think I'll forgive you with a simple apology?
Please, Lena. Let us live with you for a few months.
Nope, never. You never kept your promises. I bet you'll stay forever if I let you live in my house.
I promise, Lena, believe me.
If only you had started paying back Mom and Dad. It would have made you sound more promising. Considering all the trouble you've caused to our family, I don't think I can ever believe in you.
Okay, I won't ask you to let us live with you then. But at least tell us where you moved to.
I know what you're trying to do. You're planning to move in with us. Why do I have to tell you so many times? I told you that I can't believe in you anymore.
Why? Can't you be nicer to your dear brother? A little help won't hurt.
You could have been a better brother too, Noah. Remember all the trouble you caused your sister? We had to sell the house because of you, and you always stole money from our house. Do you know how hard Mom had to work to save all that money? She was saving her pay from her part-time job so that she could travel with Dad.
I'm sorry. I regret everything I did to Mom and Dad.
If so, why aren't you paying them back? I never thought of you as my brother. I'll tell you their bank account so that you know where to send them the money. If you regret what you did, start paying them back even if it might take some time.
I can't start paying them back if my basic living needs aren't being fulfilled. I don't even have a house.
Didn't I tell you, Noah? Stop depending too much on Mom and Dad. It's your fault that you lost our trust. There's nowhere you can go home to and no one you can depend on. You're no longer done. You're no longer part of our family. You're just a debtor. Apparently, Noah and his wife left the house just before the old house was pulled down. However, he ended up borrowing more money to support his living expenses, so he hasn't even started paying back my parents. My parents have given up on getting back the $50,000 they lent him, and are now trying to use up all their savings so that there would be nothing left for my brother to inherit. I support my parents' decision because I don't want my brother to inherit anything either. My brother texted me the other day saying that he really needs to pay back his debts as soon as possible, so I finally decided to block him from my contacts. I don't want to be involved in any of his business. I no longer know what my brother and his wife are going through, but I've decided not to get in contact with him ever again. He deserves to be chased after his debt collectors. I'm currently enjoying a relaxed life with my parents after moving into our new house. Our new house has great security, so we no longer have to be afraid of robbers like my brother stealing money from us. I initially thought of paying back my parents on behalf of my brother, but my parents never asked for my help. They even offered to rent their own apartment when we decided to pull down our old house. They thought they might be a nuisance if they move into my new house. I can never forgive my brother who betrayed my kind parents, and I love my parents who are always considerate of me from the bottom of my heart. I want to become a daughter they can be proud of so that they can heal from what my brother did to them.